Hey, we're doing a product review today of the Shine Armor Fortified Quick Coat Ceramic Waterless Car Wash Paint Sealant and Detailer. Is it hip or is it mostly just hype? Well, there's only one way to find out, so let's get to it. Hey, welcome back to the program. Okay, we are going to test this product. This is the Shine Armor Fortified Quick Coat Ceramic Waterless Car Wash Paint Sealant and Detailer. Okay, but before we get to this, I just want to sort of set the table here for how this all came about, because I think transparency is critically important in this, especially on YouTube, where there's a ton of videos of product reviews, and you don't necessarily know if they're getting products for free, and that's just where they're shilling companies, and they really don't have any objective viewpoints to give you. Shine Armor did send me these products for free. Okay, they reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to review them, and I said sure, with the caveat that I cannot guarantee you what the review is going to be like. It may be a good review, it may be a bad review, it may be a review in between. I don't know. But if you're sending me the product on the assumption that you're going to get a positive review because of that, don't send it to me. And they said, oh, we completely understand. We'll send it to you. Whatever you think, put it on social media and let everybody know about it. So if nothing else, give the boys and girls at Shine Armor some credit for sticking their neck out and sending it to me with no obligation for me to give them a positive review at all. So I think that is important, and it's important for you guys to know that you're going to get an objective review here, and we're not just shilling companies, because that's not going to happen on this channel. It's not good for you guys. You don't know who to trust, what products to use, what products not to use, so on and so forth. So one other thing I want to mention too is this quick detail sealant product. It's a really competitive market that they're trying to get into here, so you have to give them a little bit of credit for that too. You're talking products from all the main players, and you know them. Here's Griot's. This is a spray on car wash, but they've got Speed Shine, which most everybody knows about, which is a detailing spray. Zymol, everybody's heard of that. Here's some other product that I get at car shows they give out for free, and I'm not sure I've used much of that. But you're talking Adams and McGuire's and Mother's and Chemical Guys. The list just goes on and on. I mean, if you go to your favorite car care detailing website, and they've got endless numbers of products that you can choose from. So it's a competitive market that this company is getting into, and so you gotta, again, give them a little bit of credit for sticking their neck out and trying something like that, because it's not for the faint of heart. So a little bit of background with Shine Armor, and this is where it gets a little bit interesting. Before we get to the product, let's just figure out what's going on here, so we can understand the apples and apples and oranges and oranges. Here's their claim on their facts on their website. This is straight from their websites. What's the difference between a regular car wax and this Shine Armor Fortified Quick Coat? So here's what they say, and I'll read it to you, and then I have a couple questions to ask after that. So it says Shine Armor doesn't contain any waxes or water-based silicones, unlike like most other products. So the Quick Coat contains a special blend of soaps and wetting agents, plus a ceramic silica solution that leaves a clean, sealed, protected surface. Powerful products, 3-in-1. It's a waterless car wash, paint sealant, silica maintenance spray combined with a powerful detailing product. When it comes to cleaning, surface protection, traditional detailers, waxes, and silicone sealants cannot compare. Okay, I have a couple questions here, and let me just throw them out there, and I'm sure all of you are much smarter than I, and you can sort this out for me. Now it says it doesn't contain waxes and water-based silicones, unlike a lot of other products. It's a ceramic silica solution. Now my understanding is silica is silicon dioxide, and silicone contains silicon. So silica and silicone both contain silicon. Now I'm not a chemical engineer by any stretch of the imagination. But I don't know if I don't understand what they're trying to differentiate here between a silicone-based product and a silica product as being miles apart, or if it's sort of just a marketing word salad and the difference is really nuanced more than anything. I don't know, but if you guys know and you understand it better than me, please put it in the comments and let me know. Again, it's not my area of expertise by any means, so I had some questions about that. I'm not sure it makes sense to me. If you can make better sense of it, that'll help me out. Okay, so when I talked to the boys and girls at Cheyenne Armor, they said, "Hey, we want you to test this on a dirty car because it's a detailer and a sealant at the same time. So it sort of acts as, you know, it's dual purpose here. They say 3 in 1, but there's 2 purposes right there. I'm going to kind of change this up a little bit. I want to test it on a relatively clean car first, so we'll do the M3. And then after that, we'll try it on the Cayman because the Cayman's been sitting outside for months. It literally hasn't been washed in months, so it's absolutely filthy. It's a pig. The M3 I really haven't done anything to since I uploaded the video. Washing it. So I'll put it in the not dirty state. I'm not sure it's in a perfectly clean state. I haven't clay barred it. I haven't polished it. All those steps will come later. And to me, it's not really clean until those steps are done. But for purposes of this testing, it's closer to not dirty than being dirty. So let's test this product on a couple panels here, and we might even want to test it with a couple other products we have here, and let's see what happens. All right, so here's how we're going to do this test, and admittedly this is not completely scientific, and I'm not trying to pretend that it is, but I masked off 2 sections of the hood here on the M3, and I think what we're going to do first is, you know, there's nothing on this paint. It's clean, fairly clean, but it's not clay barred or waxed or anything like that. There's no product on it. So we're pretty much down just to bare metal paint. So I've got some water here, and then I've got the Cheyenne Armor. So I think what we'll do is we'll spray some water on the panel and see what it does, and then spray some Cheyenne Armor on it, wipe the panel off, spray some water on that panel, and see if there's any difference between the two when we put water on them. So let's start with the panel that we're going to put the Cheyenne Armor on. Let's do the top panel here. And actually, let's do the bottom panel because if there's any water that runs down, it'll go onto the treated part. So directions are pretty straightforward. You can spray your microfiber cloth. You can put a little on your car. If I can figure out how to use the sprayer. Jiminy Christmas. Okay. Come on. Okay. Put a little on here. Okay. And it basically just says to wipe on, and then we're going to wipe it off with a dry microfiber. Make sure we get it all in there good. Okay, now from just an appearance standpoint, I don't see any difference between the two panels. I mean, this one's got a few smudge marks on it from my fingers, but I don't see anything really different from an appearance standpoint so far, which I really wouldn't expect because the car is fairly clean to begin with. Okay, now let's take some water. Let's spray it on the panel that hasn't been treated. See if it does anything. Basically just sits there. Let's spray it on this side, see if it does anything. Not much. Now let's change the spray to a stream. Let's try this one. Well, I don't see a whole lot of difference so far. The treated panel is running a little bit more just because it's at a bigger angle, but I would expect that. I think there's a little bit more beading on this side than this side. It's hard to tell. I may have sprayed a little bit more water on this side, but I think the beading is a little bit better on this side. I wouldn't say a ton, but there is some. Okay, so let's wipe these dry. And once I wipe them dry, I want to see if the treated side, if it's got like any of those silica, hydrophobic particles in it, has made this side feel slicker. This panel should still be kind of squeaky. Yeah, this side is definitely, the treated side is definitely smoother to the touch. There's no question about that. This still has that, you got some friction going on here. This side is definitely smoother. Probably not the greatest panel to try it on because these are still relatively flat. So now let's try it on a surface that's perpendicular to the floor here, and let's see if we get any different results. Okay, same deal. We're going to put the Shine Armor on this panel. We'll just do regular water on this panel. I'm sorry, but I'm going to rip off the tag. Okay, let's get this coated really good. And give it an honest go here. And to the touch, obviously untreated side squeaky. This side definitely smoother, no question about that. So let's go to our water test here. The control side. Let me get a little mist here. Let's try this side. Hard to tell. It almost looks like the mist on this side is actually holding its spot, not going anywhere. Let's do some. It's still sort of hard to tell. I don't know if it's just placebo effect or not, but it's still a bit hard to tell just how much it's working. You can definitely feel the difference when you touch the paint. I'm just not sure I'm seeing the difference like I would expect it to. And maybe this isn't the perfect test, just shooting water on a panel. Admittedly, this car is very well cared for and clean, so maybe it's not a great test mule either. But I think the results may be more pronounced if you actually had like tar or sap or dirt or bugs or something like that that's really sticky, and sort of like a wax. When you wax your car, if you just got regular untreated paint like this, all that stuff just sticks to the paint and it's hard to get off. You really have to work at it to get it off, where if you just waxed your car, you got a nice Carnauba on it, or you've used one of these paint sealant products, that stuff comes off much easier. Unfortunately, because this car is clean, it's really impossible to test with. Now the Cayman outside is filthy dirty, so if nothing else, we'll be able to see if this product also works as a card detailer. The product says it's 3-in-1, so it's a car wash, it's a sealant slash detailer. Now, let me just throw this out there, because this is my own personal opinion, and I'm not speaking for everybody, but I usually don't use products as a car wash, okay, or any sort of a cleaner. I mean, even like Griot's Speed Shine is not a cleaner. Even their car wash, even though they call it a car wash, it's really not a wash, okay? I mean, there's just no way to get your car clean by just spraying stuff on a car and wiping it off. I mean, it's just not going to happen. I would much prefer, if I'm going to get a car clean, I want to get all the dirt and contaminants off without actually physically touching the car. That's why, it's better to just go out in your driveway and take the hose and spray your car off and get 90% of the goop off. And then if you've got a mitt or something like that you want to work some soap into to really work those tough spots, that's fine. Where I think that these products sort of come into their own is when you've already cleaned your car, you've clay barred it, you've polished it, you've waxed it, or if you decide not to wax it, you then put a coat of this stuff on it, then your car's ready to go. Now, if you decide you're going to go to a car show and you get there and you got to drive 5 or 10 miles, and the car gets a little grime on it, it's a bug or two, it gets some dust on it, and you just need to just clean it kind of once more right before the judging dorks come around to judge your car. Then this stuff is great, okay? You just need something really quick just to get that last 2 or 3% off that you reaccumulated when you drove from your house to the car show. Or if you get up in the morning, you traveled the night before, and maybe you had your car set outside and it's got dew on it, and you just need to wipe it off and just go over it just quickly one more time. But you're using the product really after your car is already clean. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend using any products like this to clean your car. You just need to clean your car the conventional way. It's the best way to do it. It takes longer to do it that way, but it's the better way of doing it. And that's not a knock on the Shine Armor product, okay? I'm telling you, I don't think any of the products really do a really good job of cleaning your car. It's just a step in the process that is too complicated and convoluted to just use a spray product to get a dirty car clean. You've got to go through multiple steps to get your car clean. And in my opinion, you need to use a lot of water and a lot of soap. Unless your car is just so clean that you never drive it and you spray it once a month, and that's it. With the yellow M3, since I don't drive it that often, maybe I could get away with that. I drive this car a lot more. I drive the Cayman every day. That's a filthy pig. Whenever I need to clean that car, it needs a bath, a conventional bath. So that's my feeling on that. So the next test for this will be, I'm going to flip the cars around here. I'm going to pull the M3 out. I'm going to pull the filthy pig Cayman in here, and we'll pick a panel or two on that. And what we'll do is, since it's dirty, we'll pick a product, like a comparative product to use. Maybe I'll pick the Griot's Car Wash or Speed Shine, or one of the two, or maybe even a combination of the two, and see if those two products together do the same thing as the Shine Armor, or if they do a better job, or if they do a worse job, and this does sort of an all-in-one job and saves you a step or two. So that's the next step here. Give me a chance to move some vehicles around, and we'll get started on it. Okie dokie, we're back, and we got the Cayman in the garage now. No, by the way, I did not grow a beard between the time I pulled the M3 out and the Cayman, and I'm actually shooting this about a week later. Well, it's going to take 5 minutes to move cars in and out. Ended up being a week with the holidays and stuff, but you've got to give me credit. I put on the exact same outfit I had on a week ago when I shot the first half of this video. So, I mean, story continuity. You can't get this type of dedication on any other channel. I did this just for you. Okay, so we're going to do basically the same thing we did the first time. This car is filthy. Let's do the hood first, okay? I put a piece of tape down the middle of the hood, and you can see it right there. And what we're going to do is we'll spray the Fortify on one side. We'll do just water on the other side first of all, just to clean it up. We'll see if there's a difference. And then I've got some Best of Show detailer from Griot's. We'll put that on one side, and then we'll sort of have a cage death match between the Griot's and the Shine Armor, and see what happens. So let's get started. Okay, before we get started, I just want you to see that there actually is dirt and grime all over the hood of this car. So we're dealing with absolute filth here. It might be hard to see on the camera, but it's definitely there. So let's start putting some product on here and see what happens. Okay. Just taking off water here. Again, it's still easier to move the microfiber around on the treated side, which is good, which tells me it's probably doing some protecting in case you got sap or tar or grime or bird shit on your car. It would probably be easier to get off. I just don't happen to have it on the hood here. Okay. So now both sides are relatively free from dirt. So now what I want to do is I want to put some more Shine Armor on this side. Then I'm going to put Griot's Best of Show detailer on the right side. And let's just see how they perform. Okay. Shine Armor there. That's the show detailer here. Grab a clean microfiber. Man, this car needs detail bad. I owe you an apology, little baby. I've been neglecting you. Yeah, I can feel the Griot's detailer making it easier to push the microfiber around now, which makes sense. Now it's going to be interesting to see which one feels smoother. I'm not sure the Griot's detailer claims to have any hydrophobic properties to it, but it is a detailer. So we'll see. Alright, from 10 feet away, that looks clean, but probably not. Okay. Now the squeaky test. Okay, that's fairly smooth. A lot smoother than it was. This side, again, you're probably in the same ballpark. I would say the Fortify might be a tad smoother. I don't know if I put an extra coat or two on this side. Feels just a hair smoother. So let's try the water test one more time to see if there's any beading action or anything like that. Again, this is not very scientific. Grab another towel. Okay. So this is the Shine Armor side on the left, after it's been treated. This is the Griot side. I don't see a whole lot of difference in what any water is doing on here. It's beating about the same. And maybe it's going through anyways because it's the hood and it's not a side panel. Okay, so the Shine Armor Fortify Quick Coat on the left. Griot's Best of Show Detailer, I think it's called, on the right. I can't see a whole lot of difference in the overall shine or the luster. Both products were about as easy to put on. I think the Shine Armor may have been just a tad smoother and what it's leaving on the paint. So maybe that'll help you a little bit for bugs and tar and grime and that sort of stuff. But I go back to my original point that these products are probably best used after your car is clean. Okie dokie. Well, Chris, what's the verdict on the Shine Armor Fortify Quick Coat? Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to punt the football a little bit on that answer. I need to use it some more. I need to use it in the way that I would use these products, the methodology that I use, which is clean the car, polish the car, play bar the car, and then use it as sort of that last step before you're going to a car show or whatever. Admittedly, I use it the way they suggest I use it, which is not my comfort zone, but it's the way most companies suggest using their product. It's just not the way I do things, but I totally get it. I will say that in just a little bit of testing that we've done here on the M3 and the Cayman, it does leave the paint smoother. So I don't think there's any question that there's some sort of nanoism going on here or hydrophobic stuff that's being left on the paint, which makes it smoother. So if you get bird droppings or dirt or grime or tar or bugs on your car, they should be easier to take off with this product. Now, that's not unusual for any product that claims to do these things. So I'm not saying this does it better or worse than any others. I'm just saying I have no reason to believe it wouldn't do that. So what I would suggest you doing is buy a bottle of your own and try it out for yourself. I think if nothing else, from what I can see, from what I can tell in my little bit of testing here, it's probably worth the $20 to give it a try yourself. Now I will say that, like the Griot's product, this is a 22-ounce bottle, and the Shine Armor, pretty small bottle, it can't be more than 12 ounces. I think one or two of these bottles is $20 or $25. I don't think Griot stuff is nearly that expensive, but I could be wrong. So this isn't cheap, but if it does what you want it to do and it works for you, then it may be completely worth the price for you. So there you go. I'll let you know in the next few weeks and months how this continues to test out for me. I've got 2 bottles of it, and I plan to use all of it. There's no reason not to. They were kind enough to send it to me. So I will give it a thorough go around and use it liberally once the weather warms up a bit here in the spring. So there you go. If you like this video, give it a like. If you didn't like it, don't like it. You can hit the bell, and every time I upload a new video, you get a little ding ding. It lets you know I've got a new video that's been uploaded, and you can take a look at it. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe today so you don't miss an episode. Take care.